Philosophy is about thinking. What kind of approach do you need in order to have any hope of making sense of the trolley dilemma? For starters, you need a sense of analysis, logic, organization, and the overall ability to think in terms of consequences and implications. When you go down one thread of thought, what are the considerations that arise from it? Why do they exist and what do they lead to? If that leads to a dead end, then you need to be able to backtrack and explore other perspectives with thoroughness. Philosophy requires the unfiltered skill of critical thinking and analysis. It's something that we constantly pay lip service to, but don't really delve into the meaning of. Unfortunately, this does take considerable effort as it runs counter to how our brains are wired. Philosophy is about the pursuit of thinking, and it teaches analysis of arguments, logical constructions, and critical reasoning. It teaches cognitive biases and logical fallacies, as well as a sense of discovery because, as you can see, no one answer is ever enough. You must always go deeper. There's always a next level down to explore. Your view is always limited and biased. How can you take on a different perspective? While it may sound tedious, for the lover of wisdom, it's a good thing. You'll challenge your own point of view and understand why others have merit. For instance, in the trolley dilemma, it's about solving a problem with no real answer. With philosophy, you gain creative problem-solving skills. You learn to organize and classify information in a multitude of ways, all useful to a particular purpose. You'll learn how to construct an argument and identify points that say what they are representing, as well as those that are basically deceptions. Perhaps the greatest and most adaptable skill you gain from philosophy is the ability to function and even thrive in the ambiguous. This is something else that we're wired against. We typically want certainty, especially in the face of a question or problem. But in philosophy, there are no true answers, only multiple valid perspectives. Where does that leave you? Needing to cultivate a set of techniques to questions and understand deeper, these are the wandering and circuitous thoughts that appear to lead to nowhere to the casual observer, but in reality are drilling down deep into knowledge and wisdom. With this ability comes a certain open-mindedness of what each different perspective entails. That's something that no one is born with and that we must gain through practice. So, if you are skeptical about why you might want to pick up this book or read on, there are very real benefits to learning philosophy, just not if you're hungry or in need of a place to sleep in the rain. Life is not typically certain or concrete, so abstract thinking will assist you considerably. Yet this still pales in comparison to the value of finding your life philosophy, a personalized path to fulfillment and happiness based on some of history's greatest thinkers. What's your life philosophy? Philosophy gives you hard skills. Some might even say marketable and employable skills, even if a degree in philosophy is not known as such. But philosophy arguably gives you the most important thing you can have as a person: clarity on your own views, values, and perspectives. And it's only through understanding those aspects that you can understand how to create the best life for yourself. How did you answer the trolley dilemma? Would you have pulled that lever? What went through your head as you made your decision? That's who you are at the current moment, for better or worse. That's where you stand on the spectrum of morality and ethics. It may just be a simple yes or no on pulling the lever, but it speaks to so much more of how you view the world and your place in it. Your actions stem from your values and morals, and it behooves you to understand why you do the things you do. Philosophy imparts self-understanding, one of the rarest qualities in the world. You understand what appeals to you and what you simply couldn't care less about. From self-understanding, you can build the life you want. Imagine if a doctor were to prescribe a course of antibiotics based on only the symptoms and not the causes of an illness. That's what we're dealing with if we lack self-understanding. This is what I would refer to as a life philosophy, a code of behavior and mindsets that you seek to live your life by to optimize your happiness. They are rules you set for yourself to fulfill your values on a daily basis. The simplest example is someone who endlessly pursues money to the detriment of their relationships. Clearly, their philosophy is oriented on wealth, and they gain self-worth from it, even if they don't know it or want to admit it. If they know it, they can orient themselves toward what fulfills them and avoid that which does not. It's all we're really looking for in life. Everyone has a life philosophy, but most don't know they do, and even fewer are able to describe it. If you were to ask someone, it would most likely be someone else's philosophy parroted back at you. This is simply because most of us don't know who we are or what we want from life. We are directionless, or we simply float through the path of least resistance and pain. A life philosophy helps you avoid all that by clarifying what is and is not important. That is the biggest benefit of the study of philosophy, and indeed, this book seeks to provide the life philosophies of some pretty sharp thinkers to emulate or disregard. What was Aristotle's take on happiness and fulfillment, and how does that compare to Marcus Aurelius's or Confucius's? Does the life philosophy of Stoicism align with your values more, or do you prefer the principles of Taoism? What texts shed light on what's important to you, what you want to avoid, and what you want to emulate? Surely we can learn from these titans of thought. Living without a life philosophy is like sailing a boat without a map, engine, or even end destination in mind. You're probably seeking contentment and happiness, but you don't know where it is. You don't know what direction you're headed in, and even if you knew, you would have no way to change course. You simply drift according to life's external forces on you. You might come to the frightening realization that you've spent your life drifting toward things you don't care about. You haven't chosen your own path. You've just acted as a vessel for the people and contexts surrounding you. Learn about yourself, discover what is important, take responsibility for your own fulfillment, and directly pursue your own definition of happiness. Every small daily action acts to put us either further or closer to the correct course. While an educational tour through some of history's greatest beliefs, 10-Minute Philosophy is ultimately about better and happier living. It would be foolish if we didn't look into the past and borrow from ancient people's wisdom and apply it to our own modern lives. Each of the philosophies in this book has undergone thousands of years of scrutiny and has emerged intact. If you take away our modern trappings, electricity, internet, and jet planes, not much has changed about us. Humans are still perpetually in search of happiness and fulfillment. A final note before we start. This is not meant to be an in-depth primer on multiple sets of religions, philosophies, and belief systems. It's an introduction, 10 minutes, so to speak, of what these philosophies espouse and how you might be able to fit them into your life for a boost of happiness and fulfillment. Of course, ancient beliefs cannot be distilled, but all it takes is a single thought or shift of mindset to dramatically alter your life. Think of it as a shot glass of instant wisdom for your review. Not everything is covered in grinding detail, and concepts have been left out purposefully for clarity's sake. We have one goal here: find a helpful path to happiness. This has been 10-Minute Philosophy. From Buddhism to Stoicism, Confucius and Aristotle, bite-sized wisdom from some of history's greatest thinkers. Written by Patrick King, narrated by Russell Newton. Copyright 2019 by Patrick King. Production copyright by Patrick King.